Hi everyone. I know I'm early. I typically come a little later, but since I couldn't do later, I've been flexible and I'm moving it to earlier. So my typical time to do these talks is around noon Eastern, but I booked some interviews with people internationally today, even though it's a Sunday. This was the only day we could find, so I've moved my time earlier. Hi everyone. Thank you for joining me on a Sunday. So today I really want to talk about, and all my talks are really ultimately related to how do we manage our mind. Our mind can go to so many different places, and how do we keep it in a state of equilibrium? How do we keep it steady? If the mind is unsteady, then our entire life becomes unsteady. So what does it mean to have a steady mind? And a steady mind is really the answer in times of stress. It's always the answer. It's always the only answer is how do you have a steady mind? Because if the mind is out of control, which is what most people's minds are, they're out of control. I wrote a book, my second book is called Out of Control. It's really about discipline and how we discipline our children, and how discipline in the old-fashioned way, in the old paradigm of punishing and yelling and screaming at our children, is really a sign not that the child is out of control, but that the parent is out of control. The parent is completely and unequivocally out of control. So how do we understand that? And just moving this. How do we understand that in our own lives and take charge of our mind? When a parent screams and yells at their children, there is no justification. The only reason the parent does that is that the parent has lost control of their mind, that a 5-year-old can trigger them into insanity, or a 17-year-old can trigger them into insanity. It doesn't matter what the outside is. The fact that we lose our equilibrium is because we are out of control. So now, in this pandemic, to keep charge of our mind becomes preeminent in importance. It becomes absolutely an imperative. In my own life, I too am experiencing some anxiety around the future. When will this damn thing end? What if it comes back? Will my kid go back to school? What about college? There is no doubt that there is a vast sheath of being undone, a vast sense, an underpinning of anxiety. If you're not feeling the anxiety, you're not feeling, right? There is no way you cannot be feeling anxious. So let's just understand that. There's no way, if you're a human, that you're not feeling sadness, that you're not grieving the loss of somebody or the loss of somebody that that has lost somebody. Everybody by now is being touched by this virus and the shock of it in some way or the other. In unemployment, in the loss of a loved one. There is no doubt that this is occurring everywhere we look. So if you're not feeling sadness, you're either, completely detached in some psychopathy or depression, or you're not here in this world, or you're just dead, right? Dead to emotion, or dead in the physical sense. So there's no question that every human being is going to be feeling at this point in time, in a collective, as a oneness, deep and dire chaos, anxiety, and some sort of shock. Okay, that's at the bottom. This all of us are feeling. Even me as a wisdom teacher, I am feeling this. Okay, there's no question I'm pissed off on some days. No question that I'm anxious. I'm going, what the F is going on? When is this going to end? How, when, what? Questions are cluttering my mind. But that's at the bottom, right? But the layers on top that I try to stack with are ways to calm my mind, ways to take charge of this mind, because ultimately my mind is the only thing I have in my control. And parents really need to learn this, because the illusion of parenthood especially is that the other can be controlled. We have children thinking that our children can be controlled by us, so we control them. But we control them by going out of control, by yelling, screaming, and going mad. So I really help parents to see that it's not your child. You've lost control. And the reason you are wanting to control your child is because you are out of control. So I call my book Out of Control. Like, you want to control because you are out of control. The only reason we want to control things is because we feel out of control inside. So this virus has come into our lives and it's now put things out of our control. So it's very easy now for us to desire control by going out of control, by eating too much, drinking too much, yelling too much, being anxious too much, overthinking too much. These are signs that we are going out of control because life on the outside feels out of control. So now, how do we change the temperature within? How do we change the inner landscape? This is your only hope, let me tell you. The only way you're going to get through this and survive and thrive is if you take charge of your mind every single day. And that's what I teach. So when we are not in control of our mind, we are constantly reactive. So if our stomach grumbles, we're like, let's go eat. If we're feeling anxious, let's go do something. Let's go drink. Let's go distract. Let's go numb. Let's avoid. We're constantly trying to manage what the external is doing to the internal. Why? Because this is how we have been conditioned. We have been conditioned to look outward. We have been conditioned to get validation and control from the outside. This is why we're royally screwed in a situation like the pandemic, because we didn't learn to manage our inner thermostat. We didn't learn to manage our inner equilibrium. We didn't learn to meditate 16 hours a day. We didn't learn any of this. If we had, we would be fine right now. But because we never learned this, because we learned to attach to our external world, we learned to receive love from our parents in the way that our parents wanted us to receive the love. You see, that's where it all went wrong in the first place. Because we were taught by our parents, you better love me and I will love you this way. We learned this way. And this way was not our way. It was their way and culture's way. So now we're addicted to things on the outside. We're addicted to culture telling us how to be. We're addicted to the grades defining us, to our beauty from the outside defining us, from our jobs defining us, our friends defining us. We have not developed a solo relationship here. And this lack of this inner connection is what will undo us at every juncture in life. So I'm here to encourage you that this is the most phenomenal opportunity now to detach from the outside, because we have been detached from the outside. But now what? Now what? What do we do? Now we've detached, now what? Do we watch Netflix all day long? Or do we truly use this moment to solder a strong inner connection? And part of that is understanding how our mind works. What is our mind? So your mind may be overthinking. Sally's mind may be over worrying. Becky's mind may be over planning. Steve's mind may be getting over aggressive, like just managing everything on the outside. Stella's mind may be obsessive compulsive, cleaning all the time. Jackie's mind may be numbing and just watching TV all day. Everybody's mind goes into a certain way, right? So my mind, for example, is super excited and super inspired, right? Because I wait for pain, because I know when there's pain, I want to help people, because I see pain as a portal. So as a teacher, this is like my buzzing moment of like, oh, let me help people. Because if they're in pain, they're down and out, this is when they listen to me. Because no one's listening to me when all things are working out, right? I only get clients when things are in crisis. Oh, okay, when things have been in crisis for 10 years too long, now I get the client. You think I should have done this? You think I should have left my marriage 25 years ago? Yes. You think I should have stopped yelling at my kid 12 years ago? Yes. So I get people only at the postpartum, right? Postpartum. So now when it's happening in the moment, I'm like, oh my goodness, maybe this is the moment. So I get excited. Maybe you get excited. Maybe there are many of us on the outside who are finding the restoration in this. Everyone is going to rise now according to what was already in the mind, right? If we were planting seeds of beauty and inspiration and courage, that's what's going to blossom now. If we were planting seeds of discontent and depression and apathy, this is what's going to blossom now. But don't look at it as a punishment. Don't look at it as you're fated. No, I'm here to help you. We can change it. We can, whatever it is, we can make it better. I promise you this, we can make it better. But how? How? It's not coming from the outside. It's going to come when you wake up, right? When you wake up and say, I want to be better. Damn it, I've lived my whole life betrothed to the outside world. I've lived my whole life beholden to people on the outside. Do you like me? Do you love me? Am I good enough? Can you please say I'm talented? How many likes did I get today? How many people follow me on social media? Only when you realize that that was madness, in freaking insanity, then you're going to wake up. And if you wake up, the teacher is there, right? I said this yesterday. When the student wakes up, plenty of teachers. Do you know how many people online are teaching courses? Deepak Chopra and Oprah have a 21-day meditation for free. Take it, right? Then another teacher is teaching something else. Take it, right? Go to your favorite teachers. Take all their courses. This is the time to develop the inner relationship. Because if you get this correct, if you get this, then you will change it all. So Lara is asking, how do I stop overthinking? I can't control myself. It's yes, you have not been able to control yourself, but doesn't mean you cannot now. The way to do it is understanding it's a process. Now you have to commit to 6 months of a process. Do you commit to 6 months of a process? Number one. When people come to me and say they want to change, I'm like, oh, do you commit to 6 months? Like, don't come to me saying you want to change and you think it's going to change in 24 hours. No, because then the words I want to change are empty words. So I want to change needs to be followed with I want to change and I know it'll take 6 months. There is no change without at least 6 months. So first, we commit to understanding that this is no joke. It's going to take us 6 months to begin to shift in the internal landscape. Number one. Number two, go look for your teacher. Whoever your teacher is, find your teacher. There are many. My teachers are Eckhart Tolle. I listen to Alan Watts on YouTube over and over and over again. I meditate every single day. I am teaching free meditation. I'm teaching free meditation. So come meditate with me. It's around 1:30 every single day. And the website is a Facebook group. So it's facebook.com/groups/get superpowered/ I'm teaching meditation every day for free. No excuse for you not to come and learn meditation for free. So come to this group and come and meditate with me. Today it'll be around 1:30-ish because I'm delayed today. But come to the group and then you'll get a notification. Dr. Shefali is live. And almost every day for 67 days, I think I missed one day, I have taught free meditation. So there's no excuse. There's enough. Don't come to me, go to anyone. But start your path of inner awakening. So when you awaken on the inside and you begin to understand that your mind is in your control, you do have power over your mind, you just haven't learned how, then you will begin to make better choices. So once you are no longer, sorry, allergies. Once you are no longer a victim of your own mind and you begin to realize through meditation and through awakening that you can heal your inner child, your wound from childhood, your psychological issues. We all have plenty of psychological issues. But once you realize that, oh, okay, wow, I can control my mind. No one told me I could control my mind. You literally can control your mood. Do you know that? Now, I'm not putting down the people who can't, okay? And there's such a thing as chemical imbalances and your neurons are shot from childhood and you've been in too much trauma. Totally get it. Totally get it. You may be anxious for the rest of your life, no problem. But you can be less. There's no way you cannot be less, which means you can be better. You can always be a little better. And what does better mean? More in charge of your own emotions. I have been meditating since I'm 21 years old. I'm 48 now. And I can tell you, I can turn my dial to anywhere I want to go. I can switch my inner mood anywhere. I can focus anywhere. And I've learned to focus so much on abundance, so much on power, so much on worth, that very little can get me down. Very little. And the only person that can get me down now is my child. I'm still stuck in her mood. If she's in a bad mood, I'm a little nervous. And if she's angry with me, I lose it. So that is an attachment that I have to keep working on, which I do. But I don't give my power much to outside people. I mean, there's very, very little now that an outside stranger can get me. You know why? Not because I'm better, but I see that they're not better. I'm not better, but they're equally messed up. So why would I give my power to somebody else who's equally messed up, if not more messed up? But I don't want to say I'm better, but I'm definitely not worse. Okay, I'm screwed up, they're screwed up. So why would I give my power to somebody who's screwed up? You know, see, most people don't realize that. They think the other is better than them. How sad, right? Tomorrow I'll talk about acceptance and judgment more. But today I really want to just offer people a very powerful wake-up call that you can be better. I guarantee you, I've been working with people for decades, you know, addicts and depression and substance abuse in many different ways, domestic abuse. And I have helped people become better. But they can only become better when the first ingredient is there. The student needs to arrive. If the student doesn't arrive, there is no teacher. So I am here to wake you up to say, can you become a student, please? Can you please become a seeker? Can you please wake up, take one course with anybody, right? Because when you do, and you begin to realize that, oh my goodness, I was just thinking things the wrong way. I was thinking the earth was flat and it's freaking round. It's now made all the difference. Now I realize who I am and how I came to be who I am. And that's the work I do, is I help people to see why they are the way they are, is from their patterns. And that's all. Don't worry. You're not so fucked up. You're only fucked up because you could not be any other way, because you came from this legacy of whatever the legacy was. And when people see that their childhood patterns co-created this with them, there's liberation. But if we don't examine our patterns and we don't go on this journey inward to go, oh, this happened to me at 7. No wonder this happened to me at 27. Oh, the partner I married, now it all makes sense why I married this partner. Oh, it makes sense why I got into this job. Oh, it makes sense why I've been depressed for 10 years. If we don't go on this journey to understand our patterns, then we begin thinking something's wrong with us. Nothing is wrong with us. We are the way we are because of our patterns. But if we don't uncover these patterns, then we think there's something generally wrong with us, right? So this is the work I do, is I help people uncover their patterns and begin to see how logical our insanity is. Oh, I get it. Now I get why I'm insane, because of this and this and this cause and effect. And I begin to see my life in this beautiful kaleidoscopic panoply of cause and effect. Crazy cause and crazy, 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 crazy. And you begin to laugh and you have compassion, because then you understand this is the human condition. I'm not crazy. This is the human condition. This is the cause and effect from my particular ancestry. My mother was like this, then my father was like this, and and now it all makes sense. Oh, I get it. I'm normal. I'm human. So once you begin to understand that, then your inner judgment ends.